for allegedly helping an undocumented immigrant.
What's happening along the border is
tougher on immigration and demanded that Mexico stop
Hundreds of Honduran immigrants just crossed into Guatemala.
Over 650 illegal immigrants.
The United States is a country of many tongues united under a common identity, being an American. Spending around $2 billion a year, immigration services and officers detain approximately 40,000 undocumented immigrants and illegal border crossings on a yearly basis. Whether or not using this much of the United States tax revenue seems ethical or unethical, time shall tell to what extent the American public should allow our tax dollars to be used for such a purpose. To look into this issue, we documented 5 experts on their opinions on the past, present, and future of immigration in America. America has historically been a hub for immigrants due to its various pull factors.
The United States is a hotbed for immigration because we are, quite frankly, the freest country on earth. In many European countries, there are still not laws, but much more social pressures that put immigrants in certain categories because Europe tends to be much more nationalistic.
Economics is really probably the main draw for people coming here for jobs and a way to better their lives for themselves and their family. I think that includes our college education system. I think is tops in the world. That draws a lot of people.
In 2016, around 1.75 million legal and illegal immigrants entered the United States, with the process to immigrate legally into the United States being a lengthy and arduous process. There are 5 main types of visas to immigrate legally into the United States, which include family-based, employment-based, inter-country adoption, diversity, and special visas. All of these visa types, except for one, are based on the idea that there is someone in the United States that will sponsor the other migrant, whether it be a spouse, relative, or employer. However, the diversity visa, created by the Immigration Act of 1990, gave an annual lottery every fiscal year where only 50,000 visas are waiting for the millions who are trying to enter the country legally. In this situation where millions of people are facing war, famines, and other horrors, this quota may be seen as strict.
In the past 10 years, it has definitely become more difficult to go through the immigration process. She said that's for 2 reasons. One, the whole process itself is slower. She said there's just much more red tape. There's just much more backlog. She says there's more mistakes that have been made.
Green card to come over here is a long process. It takes about 10 years if you look at it roughly, or more. And it depends on what kind of status you are on as well.
Economic analysts find little support for the view that inflows of foreign labor, such as immigrants, have reduced jobs or affected Americans' wages. Academic research confirms that wages are unaffected by immigration over the long term, and that economic effects of immigration are mostly positive for natives and the overall economy.
Because they needed unskilled laborers to work on the farms, to work in the meat packing industry, or to work in industries where the local US-born citizen were not willing to work.
If it wasn't for illegal immigration, our economy would be in serious trouble. Because illegal immigrants work off the grid and, as they say, take jobs Americans wouldn't take, which sounds awful for Americans and, the whole idea, but it's true. We need uneducated immigrant labor.
However integral American immigrants play in the American labor force, the struggles they face are based on many different stereotypes that exist and prejudices that the American public has on them.
Due to their membership in a religious minority or an unpopular political view, that they don't feel comfortable in their country of origin. Or I think that sometimes people are scared of things that are different from them, and that might include people who look different or believe differently or eat different foods or dress differently or have a hard to pronounce name.
Too many people are just uninformed. They just listen to the nattering nabobs of negativity and never read anything. They never delve into. They look at it as a problem, not as a part of our continuing culture, I guess.
In the United States, children obtain their citizenship at birth through the legal principle of jus soli, right of the soil, that is being born on the United States soil, or through jus sanguinis, or right of the blood, that is being born to parents who are United States citizens.
Having someone of their citizenship based upon where their parents came from because they were born here, to me makes absolutely no sense. So I think again, it's we have to remember with politics, it's a stage, it's theater, it's playing to the audience that's there. I think if we were to secretly bring our current administration into a room by themselves and give them truth serum, they probably don't really believe half of what they say, but it's what they need to say to continue to be in power and to be reelected. That's why it's so important that, especially for the younger voices or the younger voters, that we get out, we look at our candidates, and we always do what is ultimately best.
Provide a disincentive to come over here, have a child, because that puts everybody in a difficult position. If the child is an American citizen and say they're 6 months old and the parents are not citizens and they get deported, what do you do with that child? I mean, that's an American citizen. I mean, I guess the family would stay together and take that child with them, or is that child then going to go into, foster care or an alternative living situation so that they can stay here? Most people are willing to take risks so their children can have better lives. Is that a risk that some people are still going to be willing to take so that child has citizenship, even if they take it back to, say, Guatemala for 15 years? And then that child wants to come back later on. I think it would be difficult to change that interpretation of the amendment, but we don't. That's up to the Supreme Court, to do the reading of that, and then I guess to the Congress and the states to change that.
As the United States public continues to polarize on its ideas, what can we expect on the future of immigration?
We're going to rework immigration to where we try to limit individuals, but I think immigration will remain a strong, vital part of the United States. Give it a few years, when your generation, you young people who will have different ideas about diversity and inclusivity and will not be so narrow-minded as to what is an American, I think those doors will open wider.
Hope that we continue to have our borders be open in ways that allow those who are truly in need of what our country has to offer that they can have. I would hope that we would always be looking at just the talent and the resources that come from when we let others come into our country from other places. Yes, we have to be vigilant and diligent to ensure our safety, but my hope would be is that we see the frenzy relax a little bit, right? Not as tough and as tight as we're seeing now, but something that's more practical and makes sense and allows those that truly need to come here be here to enjoy all that we have.
I think there's a lot of passion on both sides of the issue, and I don't know how much room that leaves for compromise. I guess under the Obama years, there seemed to be willingness to compromise on children, people, the dreamers, kids that were brought here through no decision of their own and who have been here and finished education. But even that now seems to kind of be off the table as a compromise. So I don't know where the common ground is between some people who want to shut the door completely and other people who want to, kind of have a more open policy about believing people that they're fleeing these types of persecution.
States has benefited in the past from immigration, and they've used it very well to their advantage, and they have become what they've become because of the hard work of immigrants. Okay, it was started by the Puritans, and contributed by hordes of immigrants, and now if they stop it completely, they have much to lose and nothing to gain.
The formal name of the Statue of Liberty, which has greeted visitors sailing into New York Harbor since 1886, is Liberty Enlightening the World. A bronze tablet inside the statue's pedestal displays a poem by Emma Larsis that reads, in part, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore." Those words have welcomed generations of immigrants to the United States.
Countless families across the United States trace their heritage to immigrants, many of whom arrived under the shadow of the Statue of Liberty. But wherever they come from, immigrants make the trek to the United States for the same reason, to make a better life for themselves and their children.
These new Americans become the building blocks of our nation's communities. Succeeding generations have helped make our nation prosperous and keep our great cities thriving. The past, present, and future of the United States has rested, rests, and will rest in you, everyday immigrants.